Everything's coming up.
Alright, I'm just gonna go with this if you can hear me okay. Okay, it's 1 minute till 8 o'clock my time. How's everyone doing? How you doing?
I'm setting up my. I was like, okay, so hi everybody. Making sure everything is on here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm trying a new toy out. It is. It's called XSplit VCam. So basically, it puts a background behind me that isn't my normal dark background that is all neon lit up because of my router and modem stuff. So it looks like I'm from the Aha music video from the 1980s because it's trying to figure out where my hair in my background is where the separation is because there's not enough contrast difference. So it's like blinking it in and out. It's very weird. But it also looks kind of like I'm in the store at Level 2 Games in Avon because I grab the background I use there when I record. So that's kind of cool. But, so, for those of you who are here today, I'm Tony, or Nathaniel, and with me today is, as always, Tina, or Home of Mew.
Hey guys, what's up?
So, we're going to flip things a little bit backwards. So, Tina has somebody who has come on, and based on votes, expanded format TCG game match, and they challenged her, and Veiled Woman is the player.
Actually, they just logged off, it looks like.
Oh, the connection may have dropped. Okay, so hopefully they pop back on.
Are you on TCGO right now? Because no one shows on my game.
Nobody's a who the what now?
Are you on TCGO right now?
I am not. I am actually prepared to live stream yours, but what I could do is we can get into the discussion, and when they pop back on, go back to that.
Okay, because they're not showing up. They were on like 2 seconds ago, and then...
Okay, well, if they come back on, real quick, what it was is they were going to play a match, and just for playing, they'll get a booster pack in the expanded format that was voted on for today. And then they would get, if they sweep Tina with their deck, they would get 3 booster packs. If they won 2 out of 3, obviously not consecutively, and then they would get 2 booster packs. But if they come back, they'll come back. But, so today's topics for discussion then are Origins, which is coming up next month. And then literally the week afterwards is North American International Championships. And anybody who doesn't know this, they're at the same venue in Columbus, Ohio, at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. Literally this separate, like, weekend apart from each other. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Sword and Shield rumors. So, let me switch to, let's see, what do I want to do first? Origin. And I'm going to, okay. So AJ, who is running, AJ Schumacher, if you don't know him, he runs, usually at internationals, he'll run like the TCG or side events. It just depends on wherever Pokemon puts him. But at Origins, he typically runs the whole kit and caboodle. He has for the last about 5 years. Prior to that, I think it was Ryan Patterson, and before that, I think it was John Latham. So today, AJ gave me the schedule, the final confirmed schedule for Origins. Now, Origins got, and it was confirmed a couple weeks ago, a special event. So Pokemon doesn't do regionals like as many as they used to. So now they're handing out special events. Now, if you go to the Pokemon website, you can, excuse me, you can look up special events, and you can see a list of them in different countries outside of the United States and Europe, and see what they are. And they're essentially just regionals without being called regionals. And they provide a similar amount of championship points. So, give me 1 second, and I'll read you a little bit of a blurb here from the Pokemon website. And it says, Origins Game Fair 2019, June 12th through 16th, 2019, at the Greater Columbus Convention Center in Columbus, Ohio. Pokemon TCG fans can take part in a variety of events, including a Battle and Build draft, theme deck throwdowns, and TCG and TCG Cups and Challenges. Video game competitors can enjoy premier challenges, mid-season showdowns, and a chance to earn badge cases from a Pokemon professor. There's a cool real-life Pokemon gyms thing going on. If you have Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go, and the video games, which I was really clever and I really wanted to do, but I wasn't selected, so oh well. So there will also be the Standard Format TCG special event, which is, again, original equivalent championship point event. So at Origins, you got TCG, VG, Let's Go, and Go, all happening simultaneously. And if you've never been to downtown Columbus is crazy with Pokemon Go. I caught 2 legendaries when I was in downtown Columbus last year for North American Internationals. So definitely, if you're just playing for Go and you like to get Pokemon swag, it is worth going. So you can find details on Origins at originsgamefair.com, but go to Pokemon website for the details on the specific Pokemon events. But let me put up for you the actual...
And if I remember right, Origins Game Fair is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
unless... the year I went, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you get Pokemons out, you can definitely play other games, Magic the Gathering, D&D. Because the one thing I learned the one year I went to Origins is you do get kind of grinded out of one game. I'm not trying to say anything negative about Pokemon, but when you focus on one game for a long time, you kind of get tired. So make sure you see all of Origins Game Fair. It is worth seeing other games at Origins. So that is a thing. And sometimes they'll give out a special promo for other games. Like I know the year I was there, 15-year anniversary chart for Magic, which was worth getting. So make sure you check out other games as well.
Yeah, so Nathan Hall, thanks for subscribing, and that was kind of out of the blue there. Yeah, but here, let me see if I can adjust the size here so you can see the screen better. I'm going to just enlarge this thing as big as I can. Okay, there we go. So speaking of what Tina was saying, Wizards, Konami, which is Yu-Gi-Oh!, Wizards of Magic. Thank you, Josh Ridehead, for subscribing. Let's see. Transformers, Hasbro, which is also Wizards, will be there with that game. And Bushi Road is going to be there for Card Fight and a couple other games. So if you get tired of Pokemon, which you really shouldn't, Pokemon is awesome. Here's other options for you. So here is the schedule I have, and I sorted it by event types. Now, if you notice the big bulk of it, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and you'll see. The hugest part of it, the hugest is not a word, the largest part of it is the TCG Build and Battle. Now, if you've never been to a pre-release, that's what it is. And I'll read you the description for the event. And again, AJ Schumacher, I believe he wrote pretty much all of this out, so blame him if anything's wrong. Receive a Pokemon Build and Battle kit featuring 4 booster packs and a special evolution pack to build a deck. Let's see if it says anything else. It's just like a pre-release. See, right there. Keep the cards, basic energies provided, prizes for all ages. It is a fun event. It is an intro event. Even if you're not new, it's still a fun event, and it kind of levels out the playing ground for everybody. If you watched last week's episode of this show, I beat Tina with no GXs, and she had 2. That is how messed up this... well, it's not messed up. It is how even this format is. Okay? You could have the best 2 GXs in the set and still come out ahead in a draft with this, the battle. It just you can't predict it. Although, Guzzlord...
I beat you at,
Everything else, yes, I know. Okay?
I beat you when we played Magic. That was fun.
For you. My soul dies a little every time I lose. Okay, so here is the LARP Gym Leader Challenge. It happens every day. So that is the one where you have the video game, you have Pokemon Let's Go, or you have Pokemon Go, and you battle gym leaders. There's like 8 people going to be around the convention center who are going to basically pretend they're a gym leader. I don't know if they're going to do the hand thing, and make you feel like you're getting into a battle, and then they can have background music playing. I don't know how realistic they're going to make it compared to the game, but you will compete to win prizes and stuff for badges for a badge case. And the description says, receive badges from a badge case from a professor, and then battle leaders in the video games. And I'm not going to read the video game names, but Sun, Moon, Ultra Moon, whatever. Let's Go, Pikachu, Eevee, Go. And you can play anytime during the weekend. So, even though it says it's only 1 hour long, it is anytime while the floor is open. Okay? So, you have plenty of opportunities to do that as well. It's a nice LARP situation. I think it's the best type. I tried to do something similar on a small scale on Saturday at an event here in Lorraine. A couple of kids were into it. It's mixed bag of stuff, depends on the situation, but captive audience, and I think that'd be a great situation. That makes Origin, I feel like that LARP situation makes Origins just worth going to for that experience. Okay, so then they have TCG challenges, which are league challenges. They have 1 expanded, 2 standard. League challenge tournament.
No, wait. TCG challenges and league challenges aren't the same thing. They give the same CP, but they aren't the same thing.
Well, it says here, League Challenge tournaments are designed to provide players with small entry-level events. And then it says, for the expanded one, expanded format prizes for all. And then I assume for standard ones, it's standard for all. So,
okay, but TCG challenges and League challenges... okay, so if it's a TCG challenge... See, League challenges are connected to leagues... And there's TCG challenges and there's TCG cups. It's like the difference between a special event and a regional. They don't get the same prizing as a challenger. If it's a TCG cup, you don't win the playmat.
Okay, so what Tina's saying is it's not attached to a league, so they got the word league out of there. Even though the description does say, in fact, league, and you're getting the same CP as a league, it is not, in fact, associated with a league. Yes. We get that, because there's also cups. There are cups here. 2 expanded, 2 standard, and it says the same thing, except you play using your own deck. This one's actually more fleshed out. It says black and white or newer, prizes for all, special prize for the winner in each age group. So the cups got a little bit more going with it. And then I should mention, let's see, where is it at? As I scroll through here, did I cut it off on accident? There are entry fees to some of these, and I may have cut it off. Oh, the prices, there it is. It's $20 for the build-in battles, which is the pre-releases, basically. It's $4 for the LARP thing. And then when we get down to the challenges, they're $4. And then the cups are also $4. Hold on. Sorry, $6, the challenges. And then $10 for... Well, they have different prices, actually. They kind of go upwards. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. But $10 and $12 for the cups, depending on which one you go to. Because there's different sizes, so there's capacity numbers, as you can see here. AJ will be making this list public tomorrow, so you'll be able to find it tomorrow at some point. I do not know where. If you live, or actually, if you're on Facebook, you can go search on Facebook, and let me type it up real quick to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Eastern Ohio, Western PA, and Northern WV, West Virginia, play Pokemon, and you'll find the group. That's most likely where he'll post it, among other places. So, I'm hoping he'll also post it on the Pokemon website within the weekend. But worst case scenario, maybe he'll have me post it somewhere. I don't know. But we'll find out tomorrow. That's when he said he'll post it and it'll go live. So anyway, after the cups, we then have the special event, which is the similar to the regional. So here's the funny thing: the kids are grouped together, juniors and seniors, at capped at 64, masters players at 300. It is $20 to enter, and so it is. Again, bring your own decks, and then you play in this is standard format stuff. So, it's going to be a big event, a fun event, a lot of CP going on. And then, and I really like this, and this is where you need a teammate. They're doing team build and battle. I've never seen it done before. I've seen it in Magic drafts, but I've never seen it done in Pokemon, where you and a teammate And this is actually $20 as well per person, where you and a teammate build a team decks and you battle as a team. So it says each player receives a build a battle kit and you pool your cards, as in you put your cards together and build 2 decks.
Yeah, this was actually a lot more popular back in the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. I don't know if people remember. This is why we had specific the defending Pokemon deal, and there were some Pokemon that could it was worded so if it looked like there was 2 people in the game, but that format never had competitive backing. But Pokemon does have a team aspect to it, and Pokemon never really delved deep into that. But I know some of the old cards. It would say both defending Pokemon are now confused or something like that. And so yeah, that depends on what set they're drafting. If they're drafting Heart Gold Soul Silver, I mean, I kind of would like to see that, but
okay. So then they do a theme deck battle, which is using pre-constructed decks, and it's I believe it says it's $6 to enter. That's actually a pretty good price. That is one of those. It's kind of like the build and battle, except the deck's already made for you. It's kind of even ground, and it's really a matter at that point of who can outthink who. And then the Unlimited tournament, which I think if Tina was at Origins, she would excel at. She tells me not.
Tournament?
Unlimited. Like, they're not going to do Legacy. God. They're going straight to Unlimited.
Is there a ban list to that? Hopefully.
Well, let's see. It says use any Pokemon card ever made, most recent errata, and rules enforced. So I guess the ban list you're going to be using is the one from the expanded format. But other than that,
I mean, wait. Did they errata Slowking? I mean, I don't know because the original errata Slowking, they just banned it.
Yeah, some people are gonna be seriously taking up Pokegym's website down to be looking up these cards rulings just to make sure that they have exactly a deck they can understand and run. I imagine there's gonna be some old-timey, like, okay, so I've been with Pokemon since 2000, I think 2003 was when technically we became official, so people probably has been with Pokemon just as long who were around when some of these older cards were in circulation, who are going to have to be really studying. Like, this is a test coming up the first week of June just to be prepared, because I mean, to not have to be able to look all of these up every single time somebody has a rulings question would be nuts. But wow, that is going to be some, right? But for $6 to enter though, just to see the mayhem that could ensue, that it's going to be hilarious. It doesn't matter what else. It's just going to be, it's going to be fun and hilarious. So then we get into the video games, and the video games has 2 mid-season showdowns, which are the higher level video game events, and then a bunch of premier challenges. So oddly, one mid-season showdown is $6, and then another is $10. But as it's described here, 3DS tournaments using Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and then you must have your own game and system. Because we do occasionally, when we do video game events, people show up with nothing and expect us to provide. We're not going to provide you $200 game systems and games. It just isn't happening. But for $6 and $10 and championship point opportunities at the end of the day, these are pretty fun events. But they're also low number limited because, you know, video game isn't as popular as a trading card game. So there's a cap of 32 at the one mid-season, but 16 for everything else in the premier challenges. But if you play the video game, it's a good opportunity to get in. They're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 video game events solely. So not even counting the Gym Leader Challenge that you could participate in, which I assume, as they didn't have the rules fleshed out when I applied to do it, you battle for your badges. So you could pick a game if you wanted to for your badge, you can pick Pokemon Go, you can pick Let's Go, or you can pick the video game and battle to win your badge. And each gym leader has each game available with a functional team. So technically, you have 9 opportunities to play something with video games at this event. And I mean, even if you just spent all weekend battling gym leaders for $4, I mean, still, it just looks like super fun this June here over in Columbus. And I had to take vacation days, so I had to pick, and I actually ended up picking. I didn't pick Origins. I actually tried to get in. If I didn't get in with Pokemon, I tried to get in with Transformers. They were staffed up. So I ended up picking North American Internationals as where I'm going to spend my vacation. So unless you have anything else, Tina, about Origins, we're going to run into the North American International Championships.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I think talking about NAIC at this point is a lot less interesting than talking about the World Championships. And I'm saying that because you already have Unbroken Bonds being played with the Reshiram Charizard, and I really think that's going to be a lot of the meta during NAIC. But I think the big issue is the rotation right before Worlds. And I think that's a bigger issue to talk about than the NAIC.
Well, hold that thought then. Let me roll the intro stuff for it first. So the 2019 North American International Championships are June 21st to the 23rd at the Greater Columbus Convention Center, again in Columbus, Ohio, literally the weekend after Origins. It will feature high championship point payouts and thousands of dollars worth of prizes spread between Pokemon's video game, trading card game, and the Pokken Tournament DX competitions. As always, there will be plenty of side events, and Columbus is just littered with Pokemon Go opportunities. And details are on the Pokemon website, and Tina knows this for a fact. The fire deck is spicy. Reshiram Charizard, so we can't keep that and Dende. We cannot keep them in stock, although we keep buying them, and then people keep buying, or we keep buying them, and then people keep buying them from us, because that deck is high demand. You know how you had the Venusaur Celebi deck? People don't want that anymore. They want the Reshiram Charizard deck now. And, Zekrom Pikachu, we still can't get anymore. People already got it. Everybody who wanted it got it. But now they want that spicy fire deck. And there is so much support for it in the newest set. And then I guess the next set coming out is going to have even more. Yes, it's definitely going to be an anchor at Worlds. And go ahead and talk about the rotation happening, because they changed the season format. The season pretty much ends prior to North American International Championship.
Yeah, so the rotation actually happens the day before Worlds, if I remember right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that even though, people go to NAIC and people will be playing Reshiram Charizard at NAIC, and if anyone was smart, they're going to be picking up Gyarados right now, which are like $1. But that's my personal opinion. But I think what's interesting is going into Worlds, because you have the rotation, and then you have major cards like Ultra Ball, Double Colorless Energy, Nest Ball being rotated right before Worlds, and Ultra Ball being rotated we've had that since Black and White, I think, and then we've had Double Colorless Energy since Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and we're also losing things like Zoroark GX, which I'm pretty sure some people are happy about that.
I'm sad.
But the question is, Ultra Shiny is going to be also, I believe it is going to be legal for Worlds.
Wait, Shining Legends wasn't rotated out. I thought it was just the first 4 sets.
It's Ultra Prism on.
I'm going to double check that, because I swore... go ahead and continue talking, but I'm going to double check that, because...
It's Ultra Prismon. I'm pretty sure that Zoroark was rotated. Zoroark came before Ultra Prism.
Right. Well, go ahead and continue your thought. I'm now like, uh-oh, because I was like, oh, okay, I'm safe, because I run the Zoroark deck.
Okay. Things in Sun and Moon on that are getting rotated. I lost the right train of thought. Yeah, Ultra Ball. But we are getting on Unified Minds, and it looks like we are going to get part of Ultra Shiny. Because if anyone has been playing Pokemon for a long time, they always have this like reprint set. Like Call of Legends was a reprint set. Legend Maker was a reprint set. They always kind of have like this reprint set at the end of every kind of like block,
right? And
then they'll go into the next set. So obviously this after Sun and Moon and Shield. So now that Sword and Shield is gonna be going into the video games soon, I feel like we're coming to the end of Sun and Moon. Therefore, close to this reprint set. So the question is, will the reprint set have Zoroark? And will it have some of these cards? Because I believe that it does have some of those cards in the Japanese Ultra Shiny set. Charizard being one of them, which is the Black Charizard, as everyone knows, is really pricey in Japanese. But the thing is, what else is going to be reprinted in that set will be reprinted in that set? Will Ultra Ball be reprinted in that set? And if it's reprinted in that set and that's legal for Worlds, why do we have for Worlds? And I shouldn't have a rotation before Worlds because it is very spicy. But if you have this reprint set that's legal for Worlds, it kind of negates the this is a brand new format type of thing. Because traditionally Worlds, the format is similar to the NAIC with the addition of one set. Like, for example, last year we had Rayquaza with Max Elixir. And yeah, Rayquaza was a brand new card, but Max Elixir was getting rotated. But you did see a lot of this similar decks in the World Championships. You had a lot of the same Zoroark stuff I mean, Zoroark has been a huge deck since it came out. I mean, so if Zoroark is reprinted, will it still be that same big card going into the World Championships? So that's why I think talking about Worlds right now is a bigger question for me personally, because you have all these cards rotating. Especially like Ultra Ball, Nest Ball. I mean, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball. I mean, that's how you get out your Pokemon. So, and it is a big issue, and I think people are looking over the fact that that's going to happen. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be talking about NAIC, but I think the NAIC metagame has already been set in Reshiram Charizard, and I think that will be a huge part of the meta, and that's going to be the deck to be at NAIC. Like, and I said, like, if people are smart, they're going to be buying Gyarados right now, which are like $1.15 a piece. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes you know there's always like, as someone who's played Pokemon for a very long time, the meta deck always seems to get at least one of them or two of them always seem to make top 8. And I'm calling it now, Reshiram Charizard will make top 8 in the IC. If it doesn't, well, this could be very surprising, because that's the deck to beat right now is Reshiram Charizard.
Yeah, so I did confirm. So yeah, you're right. It was the first 5 sets that got dropped. For some reason, I was thinking it was just the 4 base sets. But yeah, I'm poached. I need to figure out a new deck. I mean, hopefully they do reprint Zoroark, because I have is the promo Zora still in the legal number limit, or are they too low?
No, it's too low.
Ah, poop, I'm losing everywhere. Crap, and then Ultra Balls are gone too. Okay, so continue your thought. I'm sad now.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I think talking about worlds is a lot more interesting topic because we are losing a lot of those key cards that people are very comfortable with because like Ultra Ball, we've had that since Black and White, right? So yeah, we're talking about NAIC and people still gonna have Ultra Ball. They're still gonna be playing Restroom Charizard, right? But after going into Worlds, it's gonna be play some of those cards, especially without Nest Ball, without having Ultra Ball. On what is it? There's a card in Charizard where you can get 2 fire energies back to your hand, and I can just discard those with Ultra Ball, right? So the question is for me, how much of the metagame in the World Championships going to look like, because it looks like to me, with especially with Zoroark not being a thing anymore, I think we're talking about a completely different game after Worlds, especially with the rotation of so many key cards. But yeah, NAIC, it's all Restroom Charizard. It's just Dedenne, its ability is basically Shaman, and yeah, I mean, I don't see them making Dedenne a promo at all, because who wants a promo Dedenne? But given the fact it does have 3 different arts or whatever, but will Rare Dedenne be the most expensive deck at NAIC? Probably.
On the plus side, Charizard Restroom did come down a bit, so it's like $50 for the full art and $40 for the regular art now, instead of some crazy numbers before that. I refused to buy them for the store until they fell to those numbers.
Yeah, the pre-release prices are usually traditionally higher than when the set hits. But I feel like the prices will go up going into NAIC. At this point, either you're playing Restroom Charizard or you're not playing Restroom Charizard. Granted, like I said, it's so weak to water, it's not even funny. Like, Gyarados, it's a 1 prizer, you knock out 1 Restroom Charizard, that's 3 prizes, you play just that and Vulpix and just discard water energies in your deck, and, well, they go back to your deck, too. I mean, you just play, was it Waker? I think that's the card. You can get any 2 cards out of your deck or whatever. Crasher Waker. And, like, I'm not saying Restroom Charizard is bad. I'm just saying it loses to Gyarados. And pretty hardcore, it loses to Gyarados.
Okay. So I got a message from our competitor, and they dropped for whatever reason. So
yeah,
that's
I got that same message.
So
yeah, I wasn't like the thing is, if anyone's watching this, we start literally at 8:00 my time, 9:00 Eastern time on the dot. We don't start any earlier than that.
Yeah. So.
At least I don't.
Yeah, I don't either, because it's weird. What's to say? It's bad for business, I guess, to start irregularly. So that's like, even when our programmed videos they post at the same time every week. So it messes up algorithms if you do things irregularly. So, like, 8:00 on Wednesdays, my pre-recorded stuff posts, and then at 9:00 I do the live stuff.
Well, it's just a lot easier for me to get on at a specific time. I mean, if anyone's friends with me on Facebook, they know why that's the case. I've been extremely busy doing things. Personally, if you guys want to know about that, go to my Facebook page and friend me.
And watch her complain about politics. Yep.
Yeah, watch Tina complain about politics all day, every day. No, I mean, me and Anthony. I mean, well, you withdrew your name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I never submitted the final forms. Is what I did. Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's come to a point, and this is my personal opinion, that both parties are just bleh.
I know. It's just what I feel like, too. That's why I'm not part of either party.
You know, and I know this isn't thinking about policy. And sometimes how I feel about things, they'll be like, hey, Tina, the other party talks about that, or whatever. And here's the thing, as when it comes to Democrat and Republican, both parties see the other party as wrong. But here's the problem: is sometimes you have to look at the other people, not just, well, if I am for something, that the other person has to be against it. It's not that simple. I mean, let's say I say Pikachu's cute. It doesn't mean the other political party has to say Pikachu's not cute. And then people kind of point fingers at each other and like, oh, you're horrible because you don't think Pikachu's cute. And then, but the problem is, if both parties say Pikachu is cute, then both parties are like, well, you're in the insides of the other party. So, sometimes I will agree. I like talking about ideas, not necessarily partisanship. And if for someone like me, people don't like that because both parties, they expect you to be like in line with their agenda, and their agenda is to be the exact opposite of the other party, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Okay, let's move on to a different type of two sides here, sword and shield. So E3 is coming up, and rumors are flying. So the Galar region is a very long, like, vertical region, and as you can see from the picture back here, it is a tall region, which looks like a sword in the middle. So the gimmick is, it has been leaked that the gimmick is that Pokemon will have armor. So the current rumor is, and I haven't seen a picture of it yet, is that Eevee will get a new evolution in this region, a steel type evolution, which logically makes sense to me. Eevee getting a steel type evolution in a region where they put Pokemon in armor or give them some type of weapons. Hopefully you don't really give them weapons. That seems weird, but there's some of them that do have weapons, like Bisharp. They have typically like type of sword things going on. But I think the concept of a steel Eevee makes sense to me.
Aegislash is a sword, and Dual Blade is a sword.
And a shield.
Actually, mm-hmm.
So, it makes sense.
Here's something that apparently that was leaked, but I don't know if it's true or not. But we know that they're remaking Pokemon, the first movie, called Mewtwo Evolution.
Right.
And so it would make sense to me if they had an armored Mewtwo.
Well, isn't it supposed to be in Kalos, though? I mean, then again, because I haven't seen Detective Pikachu. Spoiler, everybody. He talks. Anyway,
well, if you don't, there's a reason why he talks.
I know. I don't want to spoil them. I know the ending already because I'm not a small child. I can obviously figure it out, but I didn't even need people to spoil it for me. I already knew. But I feel like if Detective Pikachu probably had a couple of spoilers, right? You would think they would sneak in some Sword and Shield Pokemon since it was so close to the series. But
I think that Detective Pikachu, without ruining the movie, was more of an homage to Pokemon the first movie, because it did go into Mewtwo being cloned and them experimenting on these Pokemon, and the main character's father being involved with that research. So I think it's more of a homage to Pokemon the first movie. Yes, it had a lot of interesting Pokemon references, including Cubone. It's like, oh, at least you're wearing a skull of your dead relative. I'm like, wow, that's pretty harsh. And it had Snorlax sleeping in the middle of the road at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, but I think, it had Pan-Chan, it had a lot of the new Pokemon, but it was an homage to the first movie because of how much Mewtwo was involved with the main villain in the movie.
The directors did say it was canon, so it is actually part of the Pokemon universe. I watched the interview this morning, so it is in fact canon.
It would make sense. It was canon. I guess it could be canon. But where in the Pokemon universe it would be, I don't know.
So the creators, Japanese.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
If you look very, very closely in the field, I don't know if you've seen the film.
No.
But at the very beginning of the movie, the main character takes a underground train to Rhyme City, and it had the underground logo that's in London. And we all know Sword and Shield is supposed to be somewhere in England or Scotland or somewhere over in Europe, somewhere in the UK. So can the movie be integrated with Sword and Shield? Maybe, given the fact that if you watch the movie very closely, it is a British English movie, given some of the accents in the movie. And they make that very clear that it's in England, that movie. So I don't know if that has anything to do with Sword and Shield. But will we see Rhyme City in the next Pokemon game? It's possible.
Because they did say in the thing this morning, the little documentary, and I can't remember if it was on What Culture or what's that one, Watch Mojo or whatever, but basically the producers said that, or not the producers, the Pokemon company said that Rhyme City is part of a new region. So that, without giving it away, maybe it is part of Galar.
And that would make a lot of sense. An armored Mewtwo would make a lot more sense. And, let's go talk about armored Charizard. That would be amazing. Armored Blastoise, armored Venusaur, and
haven't we seen pictures of armored Pokemon before? I cannot remember where, but I remember somebody was talking about, because remember there was a war and humans and Pokemon were battling, and there were two different sides, and the Pokemon were in fact in armor.
That was Pokemon the movie 8 with Lucario.
Right, so could that war have happened in Galar?
It might have.
See, because now it starts to make sense if you think of it. Like, if maybe Galar is where the armor was created. Maybe they still do that there.
Yeah, but in Pokemon the movie 8, it had this small scene where they talk about Pokemon going to war, and it had, like, I think it was Rhyhorn wearing armor or something like that, and Blastoise, and it was a painting. It was very short in the movie. But yeah, those Pokemon were definitely wearing armor. But does that really count as new Pokemon? I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, Armoring Pokemon doesn't count new Pokemon. A Steel Eevee, that counts as a new Pokemon.
Right. So I could see them making a Steel Eevee. The thing is, I can actually see them making a Sword Eevee and a Shield Eevee, but I don't think they're gonna make two Steel Eevees. They might make one normal or Dragon or something.
Is there a Rock Eevee yet? No, there's no Rock Eevee. So could they, in theory, make a Rock Eevee and a Steel Eevee, one of each type? Or one of each version, I should say.
Okay.
So the Steel one would be the Sword, the Rock one would be the Shield, maybe?
I guess.
I mean, if you're gonna really stretch it that far, it was like Steel type works. But then if we have to go, okay, one needs to be Shield, one needs to be Shield, then maybe they become game exclusives. You get one in one game, you get one in the other game. You got to trade now to get both.
Right. I think the biggest thing that we're not talking about the Sword and Shields is the dogs on top of the game.
Yeah, it's just funny. You always see them facing the opposite way, but if you switch the images, they look towards each other. And
yeah. So the thing is, as every time I see the logo, that it looks like the same dog. So if you look at the logo of X and Y, one obviously represents Xerneas, one obviously represents Yveltal, right?
Yep.
So.
So you're thinking there's a blue and a red dog,
right? And
as the legendaries.
There is actually two dogs in, I think it's Norse mythology. One represents daytime, one represents nighttime, which would be a lot more beneficial for going from Sun and Moon into Sword and Shield. But I think the fact that no one's talking about the dogs, or dog, which I think there's two, because why would they have the same dog for both games? I think there's two dogs.
Yeah, I'm looking at the images, and I bet you if I did some graphical manipulation, they would overlay perfectly.
Right, but when Pokemon the movie 5 came out, and they did a teaser trailer for Latias and Latios, they looked almost the same, but one was red and one was blue.
Right. So, I mean, it could be the same situation, but these are the legendaries, though.
Right. So, because when Latias and Latios first came out and they did a teaser thing for that, Latios was this blue bird blob, and it was just a little bit bigger than this red bird blob. And I'm like, well, is that the same Pokemon, or is it... I thought it was the same Pokemon, but two different colors. I was like, well, that's lame. Because I thought it was going to be like a cast form red and blue type of deal. But then they turned out to be two different Pokemon completely. Because if you look at Latias and Latios, they look really a lot like... they look very similar, okay? But when they did a teaser for Latias and Latios, they didn't actually show all Latias and Latios, obviously. They just showed this... Whoa. So this actually thing, going back to the Latias, and they've done this in the past with other Pokemon. I can't think of any on top over the top of my head, but anytime they have a new Pokemon and it's a silhouette, usually it's not what you think it is. But I think people are definitely looking over this whole dog thing, because obviously that's gonna have to do something in the game. And I've talked to people about this, and like, hey, Tina, I think that's part of the crest, because we're in England and they have royal crests, and it's just a normal dog, a part of her crest. I'm like, no, it's going to be a Pokemon. Like, anything that's Pokemon, they would use that as a crest in a game. So that dog is going to be a Pokemon, and it's going to be, if it's not a Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon just messed up on that. I don't know, but that is definitely 100% a Pokemon, or two different Pokemon.
Okay. Well, actually, now that you brought, because I never gave it any thought. Because back in the old days, swords used to have handles that were animal-based. So I just thought, that is what it is. But you make a valid point in comparing them to X and Y. And then then to Norse. I'm on board with that theory all the way now because it makes perfect sense. So I think you just revealed something that might not have been revealed into E3. I think spoiler alert, you're too late. I said it too late. I think she just gave away the legendaries. We don't know their names, but I think Fenrir is Fenrir one of them. I don't remember. But yeah, Fenrir is one of them. And I don't know what the other one is. Okay, so yeah, Anubis. I feel Anubis and Fenrir. Really, that's the names that came up when I looked.
It's Odin and Fenrir.
Well, Odin's the god of gods. But anyway,
Rip.
Yeah. But still, I mean, that would be awesome. I think that's cool, and that would be an interesting spin on it. I mean, yes, during England and Norse is kind of more Netherlandsy type area, but still, that is a pretty good theory there. I'm on board. That is spectacular, especially when you look at the image of the region and it looks like a sword and a shield together. And then you think about the Norse gods. It really just all lines up now. I think you've cracked it.
Is it Tyre? Is that the second one? I don't know.
I don't know. I know nothing else like Odin, and then there's Thor, right? And there's Loki. Well, I'm getting into the Marvel universe, I think. Deadpool. Where did Deadpool come in? I don't know. Okay. So it's 10 till 10. And
but yeah, one of them's going to be Fenrir. So one of them represents the daytime. One represents the nighttime. That's all I remember. Because someone actually posted this on my Facebook when I talked about the dogs. But I believe that one of them is going to be Fenrir, and the other one's going to be the whoever the other one is. This is from Norse mythology,
right?
But I believe that there's two dogs, and those two dogs are at the top of the sword and shield.
And like always with Pokemon video games, you'll get one in one version and one in the other version, and then have to either trade or complete a different story beat to get the other one. So, or an after story or whatever. Okay, so did you want to get into a game now, or did you want to cut this off right here? Because then I want to mention that we have one more episode this season, it's episode 10. I do not know what the topic is. We're getting really close to championship season, which is the point in which the games start ramping up, and I'm going to be busy. So probably in the next week or two, we're going to do the 10th episode here, and then wrap it up for the 2019 season. And I do not know, what topics do you think we would get into next time? Because obviously it would have to be before the middle of June. So the first or second week of June would be the latest we can do this final episode of the season. And I have no topic ideas. And if you have topic ideas, please post to our Pokemon TCGO Battle Live page, and we will definitely consider them. Because ideas are great. This one, I was just the fact that I was applying for these was these are great topics. And look, we've already filled 50 minutes. So anything to get us through an hour would be great. What any thoughts for the next episode, Tina?
I have no idea.
So same place as me. So we don't know what's going to pop up. Maybe so let's look up E3 real quick. I'm gonna just look up the E3's E3 2019 and see when that comes up. So that is June 11th. You're not going to Origins, right?
No.
Okay. So literally E3's first day is June 11th, which is a Tuesday. And
yeah, I have 4 invites to the ARG.
Poor baby. So E3
Did you just call me a poor babe? Oh my.
Poor baby. I didn't say whore babe. I said poor baby. Poor. Poor? P-O-R? And two O's. Okay, anyway. So...
Hey, but I'm the one who brought up the whole wolf thing, because
Yeah.
I really think no one's talking.
I mean, it's brilliant. It's perfect. Okay, so we'll see. June 12th, assuming your schedule is good, we can actually, if hopefully, because Nintendo's typically somewhere around there, Nintendo will release their information, because that is before I leave for Columbus. Because I have a League Cup on June 9th, which is Sunday. And if you're looking for a League Cup in the North Central Ohio, Cleveland area, Sunday, June 9th at Level 2 Games in Avon. You can find it on Pokemon's website. You can search for it. Or you can go to Level 2 Games on Facebook, and you can find the event there. It is $5 to enter. This is a League Cup. So, yes, it is $5 to enter. Everybody who participates gets a booster pack and a promo card, at least one promo card. I usually give away more because I get extra League promos. But... if you're looking for something to do on, get a last-minute championship point bump before you go to North American Internationals or Origins, hit us up on Sunday, June 9th. But yeah, E3 is Tuesday, the 11th through the 13th, which is a Thursday, and hopefully Nintendo says something prior to Wednesday the 12th, because I think E3 would be a great thing to cover. So how does that sound for you?
I don't know. It's just keeping up to date. I don't think I'm going to go to NAIC this year. I haven't made a decision yet. They opened up registration a lot earlier than usual. I could go, but...
Well, it wouldn't be happening until the week after this, so we would still be good.
But yeah, Pokemon for me this year, I wanted to play, but, I was using the fact that I was judging and I was selling boxes to help my travels and stuff like that. And obviously, that's not happening right now. But I think when it comes to Pokemon, this might be the smallest NAIC Pokemon has ever had, given the fact that a lot of people stopped playing because the CP announcement was later this year. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I know locally, and I live in the fourth largest city in the United States, that our numbers have declined a lot in the last 3 years. And it's not just this year, it's not just last year, it's not just the year before, it's just in general that I don't know what's going on. If it was started charging $40-$50 for a regionals, but it seems like the junior and senior age group has just completely vanished, and after a point the master age division will just give up as well, especially if they don't get points early on in the season. So being that said, if you still want to play Pokemon, go to the Pokemon event locator on Pokemon.com. Of course, Houston, we have Pokemon events all the time here. But I really think that going into next year, the 2019-2020 season, that Pokemon, and I don't know exactly what happened. I know that the fact that Pokemon did change some power. They hire new people, and anytime people leave and you hire new people, it takes a while to change things. But if Pokemon's having this turnover rate where the players are suffering, maybe they can think about things ahead of time. And I understand it takes some resources to schedule events and locations and venues, but being able to plan for the future is what this game's about. And going into next year, I really hope that it just seems like as the quarters go on, the people like, well, I have no way to get to 550 points, and they don't want to play anymore. And
yeah, burnout happens too.
Yeah, it does happen. And the way Pokemon is set up is it's a lot more burning out than it used to be, because in the old days, we had battle roads, cities, and then we had regionals, and then we had nationals, and whatever, and now it's like, if we're not doing a pre-release, we're doing a league challenge. If we're not doing a league challenge, we're doing a cup. If we're not doing a cup, we're doing a regionals. And I know a lot of people don't travel as much as I do, or did. But I know there's a lot of people who do travel. And if you want to get the points, you have to travel. And as someone who lives in a state that only has one drivable regionals, you have to fly. I mean, unless you want to drive like 12 plus hours. And that's just the reality of this game. And I guess Pokemon wants to make this, the amazing race, kind of, because of all the places I've been. I've been all over the world for this game, but sometimes it does feel like the amazing race, and you just go from one side of the world to the other, and it can get very tiring. And yeah, people do get burned out. I don't, these people who go to everything, like last season I did 9 regionals and 2 ICs. I think that's the number. But I mean, I don't know. I just to other people it can be a lot.
Yep. So I set June 12th, and hopefully we hear some great things from Nintendo and Pokemon. Really hopeful that maybe some of our theories on Sword and Shield get confirmed. Because
do you think they're gonna make a like a Switch Lite?
Okay, so information on that. So you're no longer part of the Professor groups. Crap. Okay, so they're releasing with the Sword and Shield a Switch Mini or Micro or whatever. They haven't nailed down the name yet. Okay, so what it is a single piece Switch where it comes with a miniature charging dock. And it's all one piece. The controllers don't come out, and it's going to have a price of retail of $200. Nintendo's going to lose a little bit of money on it, but it's going to be packaged with. There's going to be a combo package where you can also buy with Pokemon Sword or Shield, and a couple of stores like Best Buy and GameStop are going to get some package exclusivity, which I think they might have did in X and Y back on 3DSs. But essentially, it will be priced for $200, and they're going to reveal more details at E3. But and hopefully it'll come down with the real name. Most people have been calling it the Switch Mini, but I don't know what the official name is going to be. Some people said Micro, some people have said 2.0, because also some people have been calling other systems Switch Pro, but they haven't announced anything like that. They haven't even discussed it. They want a consumer-level Switch that kids would be able to get to play the Pokemon games because, as you know, last month Pokemon said, we're no longer supporting any first-party efforts into the Nintendo 2 or 3DS, but third-party companies still are, which means that Pokemon as a first-party company is not making any more Pokemon games. Neither is Nintendo for the 3DS or the 2DS. So they have to have something this October, November or even December if they go push it back that far, for the new Pokemon games. So there will be something, and $200 is the price marker they're hitting, or trying to hit.
I think I understand why Pokemon wants to go to the Switch. They like the fact that any more interactive programming abilities with the new system is obviously very welcome. But the question is, will people... I think at this point, will people go for it? Because I know a lot of people that own 2 3DSs. So if one runs out of battery, they can use the other one.
Well, I think the problem is, though, on the Switch, your memory doesn't move between systems on a card. Your system saves the game. Like, it's saved on the game, on the system, not on the game, though. So,
right.
So you really can't be doing that. And here's my thought process. I feel like to get people into a Switch Mini, if that is in fact its name, they would give you, like, to incentivize it for the initial launch, they're going to take a bigger hit and say, hey, buy the Switch Mini and get Pokemon Sword or Shield for free. And I think that would get them the sales they want to really push into the atmosphere and make sure that Pokemon also moves.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be multi-kid families who are going to all want Switches, and they all can't play all Sword, and they can't all play Shield because they only each save one memory. Or at least, I was told that actually Let's Go had 3 memory spots, and there's been no confirmation if Sword and Shield will allow for multiple save files. So that might be a new thing.
Usually it doesn't, right? The mainline games don't have multiple save files.
So that could be a possibility on the new on this new system. We don't know yet, but it was possible in Let's Go. So
I think Let's Go was a test of seeing how many people buy a Pokemon game for the Switch. I didn't play all of Let's Go. I borrowed someone's Switch and got to the second gym and then found it boring. But I really hope Sword and Shield is not like Let's Go. It was just too much animation. It felt like you're watching a movie. I don't know.
Well, the capturing and all that stuff is going to go back to the classic version, but it's still going to graphically look the same. So I have a feeling that the animation and all that stuff that you weren't keen to is probably still going to be there. But it'll still go back to the, maybe you'll get lucky, you catch this guy, or the ball shakes 3 times and he jumps out. But the general art style seems to be there. Although if you look at they've already released a couple of trailers. It looks kind of like an upped version of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon already. So it's just graphically updated.
I like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. The only reason I never played Ultra Sun and Moon or Sun and Moon is I couldn't stand Rotom Pokédex.
I pretty much ignore it and just move past it. So, but I bought Sun. I played it through. But because I'm also an organizer, I have to have the newest version of the game. So I sold off my Sun to it sounds like when I sold off my Sun, it sounds like I gave up a child. But my Sun version, I traded it off and got the Ultra Sun version because I had to get the newest version for the organizing the video game premiere challenges. And then I played it to the point where I could do the online features because I have to get to the online features to sanction events. So that is as far as I got.
I was having another professor do that for me at one time.
I'm the only.
I refused to buy Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah, well, I'm the only guy at my store, so bleh. Well, North's Pokemon. I can't say I'm the only guy at my store. I have a business partner, so yeah. But
I talked to Pokemon about that. I'm like, so you're telling me to run your events for free? I buy your game. You should have heard that conversation between me and Pokemon. It was not a fun conversation.
Yeah. Can't win them all, Pokemon.
Gotta spend money to be a volunteer Pokemon.
Okay, so anyway, so I feel like we're not going to play today.
Let me just say something really quick. I'm just joking. As someone who got into Pokemon via the card game, and I got to organizing the video game because there's no video game events here. I just thought it was a slap in the face that Pokemon wanted me to buy something I don't even have to run their events. I just thought that was a slap in the face. And if someone from Pokemon is listening to this, that's how I truly feel. It's nothing against your company, but to say Tina, you have to buy $200 worth of stuff to be a volunteer, I mean, okay. Luckily in my area, someone let me borrow their stuff, but...
It's kind of funny, because I applied for, as somebody, again, I've been with an organizer with Pokemon Star Leagues in 2003, and I have never been selected to judge or anything at a regional or nationals or internationals or worlds or anything, even though I've applied year after year. Or even for states, I've never been selected. Never been selected for Origins, even though I'm the senior guy in the state here. And I mean, honestly, I rarely play because it's not really what I'm interested in. I like running events. I like organizing events. I like helping people. That really interests me. Playing it's not really a big thing for me. Yeah, I played in a League Cup recently.
You have to understand, your area is saturated with organizers. I'm not saying any names in this stream, obviously, but there's another organizer who came up to me and they're like, "Yeah, I've been organizing events for 3 years and I can't even judge a pre-release." And I know you've been in the game a long time, but I mean, we've talked about underlying favoritism in this game, and I mean, AJ, he has a really hard job to do. Because if AJ, he has like what, 7 or 8 judges that now have judged ICs, and it's like some of these judges I see at every single regionals. Some of these judges have judged 9+ regionals a year, and you might have been playing Pokemon for a long time, but if one of these judges is like, "Hey, I spent $1,400 this year judging. I spent all this money on this game to be a volunteer, and this guy, he just played for a long time, he just sits at his store," that's when you get drama. Okay? Unfortunately, the way Pokemon sets it up is if you want to judge an IC or a regional or whatever, you have to have that name recognition. And that goes for politics as well. To win, you have to have name recognition. And it took me a long time to build mine. And, looking back on it, now that I did do it for the last, I guess, 7-8 months now, people still know who I am because I've been in the community forever. Will I be who I was last year? Probably not. I've done other things in the last year. I've ran for FBISD school board. I've run for county chair now. But I think that the way Pokemon sets it up, it's like, if you really want to get this prestigious spot, you have to spend all this money. And it's the same thing in any other volunteer community. Let's take a church, for example. How do you move up in a church group? Donate to the church.
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, how do you get ins with the pastor? Donate to the church, right? It's the same thing.
Well, it depends on which church, because I've been told that, scandals have told me other things, but anyway.
I'm not trying to compare Pokemon to a church, but there is this favoritism.
I mean, I spend money. You've seen my streams. I buy boxes of stuff and open up packs, so money is being spent. I mean, I play at cups and in my own league, so...
but there are people that spend tens of thousands.
Oh, I'm sure there are, and it's great that they have that type of money. But I'm running a business; I can't afford to do that.
Right. I'm just saying, but a judge who's judged. Okay, let's take someone like me. I judged 9 regionals from California all the way to Germany. Okay, I've judged 20 plus regionals, and then I see someone judging an IC who hasn't judged one. That's a problem, and that actually has happened before. I'm not gonna lie, but that's when you get people like, well, why were they picked over me? Blah 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 blah, and I was never that type of person. because I believe Pokemon can choose whoever the F they want. Excuse my language, but it's the case.
You said F, so not really bad language, but go ahead.
Lol. Freaking. Yeah. Anyway, because anytime someone gets salty about anything in Pokemon, especially a judge, they are looked down upon a lot. But I think Pokemon has to understand that if someone does as much as, I did, or someone else as much as I did, and they're never chosen, and that kind of sucks. And then, assuming we're not talking about the status I'm currently in now, which,
Purgatory.
Yeah, purgatory. But assuming I was still a professor, I feel like, and, here's the thing. I don't know. When Pokemon released that whole, we're not going to judge you based on race, sex, religion, political party, blah, 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 I'm like, really? Because I don't feel like that happens. Because, a lot of people in Pokemon know that I am adopted. And they know how I feel about adoption.
Your white parents aren't your real parents? What?
And a lot of people know I'm happy to be alive. I wasn't even talking about pro-life or abortion. I actually just told someone I was adopted and they got mad at me. That's actually the truth. I wasn't even talking about abortion or pro-life. I just said I was adopted, which is the facts. And they got mad at me. And, I don't know, I don't care what everyone else thinks, but my parents adopted someone from outside their race in the mid-'80s, and that must have taken a lot of courage to do.
And then they adopted you, yep.
Well, they adopted my brother, too. Well, my adopted who doesn't play Pokemon, by the way.
Oh, that's sad. I feel bad when I look at my siblings and only one other one plays Pokemon.
Yeah, my brother thinks Pokemon's for kids.
I'm the oldest of 9, and literally only 2 of us play Pokemon. It's sad.
My brother just turned 31 years old on May 17th. He thinks Pokemon's for kids. He's a few years younger than me.
He does understand 85% of its player base is adults, right?
Yeah. He just doesn't... He thinks it's a waste of time.
I mean, it's not a productive outing, let's put it that way. You could be doing better things.
I mean, he thinks it's a waste of time. I mean, my little brother, he's always, making music or selling this or...
Does he play video games?
Kind of.
Well, because if he plays video games, it's the same concept. It's a waste of time then. He's basically is a hypocrite.
Well, okay, so me and my brother are Korean, and he plays StarCraft. I know that's
okay. Hypocrite right there. It's the same stuff.
But he made money off. I believe he made money off of it.
StarCraft? I mean, I guess if he's a competitive player, maybe he can.
For my little brother. For those who don't know my brother, his name is Andrew Mitchie. For those who don't know my brother and never met my brother, he's all about the money. That's his driving factor. And a lot of people, their driving factor is love, money, perceived power. That's usually the 4 things people care about. And my brother, it's money, okay? And he doesn't think Pokemon is something where he can get money fast off of. So that's why my brother does not like Pokemon. It's pretty much that simple.
Oh, yeah. You sink way more in than you make.
Yeah. So the reason I like Pokemon is I like the community. When I say the community, that means the player base. And if it wasn't the fact that this player base wasn't the most kind of females, I wouldn't be in Pokemon at all. I've endured a lot with TPCI in the last 20 years of my life now. I can't believe I just said that. But but I've been smashing Pokemon a lot, but I really think looking into the future that things can get better. I really do.
Yeah. Well,
And
I decided to stop applying for Pokemon events because I'm never going to get selected. I mean, even if the qualifications are money, I'm never going to spend that amount of money on it. I enjoy it as a hobby, but I mean, if the requirements are becoming somehow magically popular and spending a whole bunch of money before, no matter how long I've been with the company organizing, basically volunteering, yes, again, for free, and now as a guy who's running a store, basically buying product from them in large quantities and selling it, and still not getting a spot, that is, I'm not going to apply anymore.
And on top of that, you can end up like myself, where you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, you get smacked in the face. So, and I said, I don't like talking about my situation, but to make it very, very clear, I don't think I did anything wrong, and I don't think unless Pokemon gives me specific evidence that I did something wrong, like screenshots that I actually did. Because when it first happened, I don't even know what they were talking about. And I've actually talked with some of the insiders of the company, who I won't name, who agree with me that what happened to me was unjust.
And for the people who don't know, she joined Team Rocket, didn't know it was Team Rocket, got caught, left Team Rocket, then Pokemon found out.
That's not what happened, but whatever.
Team Rocket is real, people!
No, I don't like talking about it. And Pokemon does not like me talking about it either. Because I actually got an email from Pokemon saying, it's better for you to admit your faults than saying that you didn't do anything wrong, which I agree with them on it, honestly. When I'm wrong on something, I'll say I'm wrong. But when you say I'm wrong on something, and then you say, you give me a reason where I'm wrong, I'm like, well, I don't see why I'm wrong there, because X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and this is where my morals lie, and your morals are different from where Pokemon's morals is, and they give me a situation, in my opinion, which didn't even happen. I gave them proof of that. And they just ignore you, because apparently the thing with Pokemon is you only can appeal whatever happened to you in a specific amount of time, and I actually probably passed my 6-month appeal. I was busy. But the way they have it set up is you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. That's the system they have set up, and it's not just me; it's other players. And we've talked about this. We talked about this on this channel before with Scoopgate and other issues in Pokemon, especially with Scoopgate. You're definitely guilty until proven innocent. Because I can say, well, Anthony asked me to scoop, right? And then you didn't actually ask me that, right? And then how do you prove that you didn't ask me that, right? I don't know how you prove that. There's some things you can't prove. I mean, I have 2,000 plus friends on Facebook. If Pokemon says to me, Tina, you've been pushing around this information, what am I supposed to do? Copy paste every single message I have on Facebook and send it to them when they're being that vague? I mean, I guess they could FOIA me on anything Pokemon related, and that'd be a legal process, but that's a lot to do for a volunteer. But I always believed that Pokemon is right 99% of the time when it comes to their bans and removals, and until very recently, I was like, yeah, that person deserved what they did. But especially with Scoopgate, like banning someone for a year because they asked for a scoop out of the League Cup. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. Like, was it a new player? Was it someone who's a pro player? Because if it's a new player who asks for a scoop at a League Cup, yes, they deserve a DQ, but do they really deserve a ban? Because I believe people only should get banned if there's like a huge pattern going on. Like they've got multiple warnings, like 3 strikes you're out system, you shouldn't be banned on your first misdemeanor. And there should be a very clear warning system. Not like, oh, you were warned last event, but you didn't get like an official warning for it.
We're talking a League Cup or a League Challenge?
I think it was League Cup.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about the Scoopgate was League Cup, yeah.
Yes,
I feel like at a League Cup level, though, you really shouldn't be given that much leeway. At League Challenge, then that would be totally for we should have a strikes thing.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, okay, but for League Cup, they did deserve the DQ. I don't disagree with that, okay? But did they deserve the ban? Because I believe Scoopgate, they got a ban because of League Cup.
I don't know the details following it, yeah. So, I mean, ban sucks. That would really suck.
Yeah, so I think Pokemon kind of...
That's a little overboard, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a little overboard. I get why they did it. They want to make an example of that person. They don't want you to act... I mean, in Japan, you can't even ask for an ID. I get it. But there's so many games like Magic the Gathering that you can prize split in top 2, and a lot of people don't know in Pokemon you can't do that. Do they deserve the DQ? Yes. Do they deserve a ban if they're brand new? I don't think so. And if Pokemon listens to this, that's what I personally think. They could be like, oh, Mew doesn't deserve to be in the Professor Program again because, we can ban anyone at any time, which is the truth, they can. And it is their game, they just allow us to play it. But... Like, let's talk about a situation that happened at the League Cup. I was judging. Brand new player, top 2, asked her prize split. They should have gotten a DQ. My head judge didn't want to DQ them because they're brand new. But they deserved it. We just, we're like, we gave him a game loss. Or no, we gave him a double game. I think we gave him a double game loss. I don't know what we did. But we just ended it there. And he should have gotten a DQ. But whatever. And we've been very light in this area about that. But since that situation, we've been saying, hey, don't do it or you're going to get DQ'd. But if that person got DQ'd, then got banned, and it was his first time ever in top 2, yeah, I would be against that. Like... I don't know how Pokemon makes these decisions. Apparently, Pokemon claims that there needs to be a pattern of behavior for them to ban you over the same thing, but sometimes that isn't communicated to you properly.
I feel like there should be precedents, but they never cite precedents either.
Yeah, I mean... Wouldn't it be more beneficial for Pokemon to have something on their webpage? Like, let's say I get DQ'd in an event, right? And I log on to my Play Pokemon account, something pops up, hey, just to let you know you've been DQ'd at this event, this is, this is on your profile, Pokemon recognizes you got DQ'd at this event, this counts as a warning, right? So you actually have this, log of what's going on. Because sometimes when Pokemon warns you, they'll send it snail mail. And one of the ones I never got. Like, Pokemon said, we sent this to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. And they sent it to me right after Hurricane Harvey hit. And I don't know if I actually got that. And so, for them to say, I got this warning, well, they could have easily put it on their website, like, a little pop-up, hey, you got this warning at this event. Not just me, but a player. And I think players honestly suffer from this more than professors. It's very rare that a professor gets removed from the program. Very rare. I've only seen it happen a few times, and most of the times it happens, they made the news, and they made the news in a bad way, or there's a question of how do I want to say this? League products, or a question of their event reporting, like they over-reported their event.
Okay.
So it's usually one of those two things. For me, it was neither. So.
Wow, that was a long run into saying what you didn't do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, it's 10:30 now. So what I want to do is try an experiment. So I want you to play a TCGO game against some random person on interwebs, and I want to see if I can simulcast it.
Oh, rip. I don't think I can do that.
You don't think you can play?
I'm actually really tired right now.
Oh, okay. Well, it is 9:30 your time, and you are 90 years old, so obviously you're tired.
Oh yes. And for the record, if anyone from Pokemon is listening to this, they should really talk to me. Just FYI.
Okay. Well, in that case,
I mean, here's the thing. Going into the future, whatever happens in the future, their communication was horrible. Horrible. And I don't think they can even deny that at this point, but whatever.
Okay. So, since you need to go take a old person nap,
I'm not old. I've been playing this Minecraft server called Geographica XYZ. They've actually made me a helper on Geographica XYZ. I live in the middle of the ocean. I'm running my own country. It's kind of a thing.
Atlantica, I believe you called it?
Yeah, it's called Atlantica. I live in the middle of the ocean.
Right. Okay, so stealing names from Little Mermaid and all. Okay, so...
Wow!
Okay, so we'll come back during E3, so in a couple of weeks, and hopefully by then we've heard some juicy news for Sword and Shield, and then I'll wrap up our 2019 season, our 10th episode. And thanks for everybody who subscribed today. I saw a couple new people. Hopefully Tina did too. We're somewhere around 1,000 viewers, so that is awesome.
Yes, and if you're not subscribed to me, it's twitch.tv/HomeOfMew, HomeOfMew, a screen name that I've been using for way too long.
Yeah, and of course, I'm at HaslageNet everywhere, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, both Tina and I do other things, so occasionally you'll see
we're in maintenance anyway. TCGO's in maintenance.
Oh, they already kicked into maintenance? Okay. I was expecting it. I didn't think they'd start already. So anyway, yeah, you can catch us on all different formats. Occasionally, I'll do reveals. Since I have a store, I get product a few days before it's released, so I'll occasionally open things up the night before it comes out. And as well as I play games online, so does Tina. And so you have a lot of opportunities to catch both of our streams. And I wanted to test the simulcasting thing, but never mind. I knew they were going to do maintenance, but I guess it was 9 p.m. Eastern and midnight Pacific. I misread it. My bad. But either way, wait, that doesn't make any sense. It was supposed to be at midnight. Something must have crashed then, because it don't matter. Either way, thanks for watching. And I was Tina and she was Tony. No, just kidding. Okay, so I'm Tony, she's Tina, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks for E3.
You guys are so nice to me. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. If you guys want to play me anytime on TCGO, let me know. Yeah, definitely add me on Twitch, twitch.tv/HomeOfMew, or on Twitter @HomeOfMew. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Bye.